Hello lovely people, I'm back. If you'd like to join me, that'd be great. Oh, hello Christina, can you comment for me again please? Just so I can see that comments are coming up. Oh, the lovely Barbara Stone's watching. Christina, if you could comment for me again please. Yeah, thanks Christina. Right, comments are coming up. Good morning everybody. Good morning Lisa Jane. Good morning Valerie. Good morning Claire Sutton. Good morning May. Good morning Jenny Green. This is something that I do on and off on a regular basis. I just have hi Janice. I just do a live just for chat and questions and answers. Other than, you know, we don't do messages today, so if anybody would like to chat, morning Jan, or have questions and answers, has any questions, I would be happy to answer them if I can. Did a trance last night and I've reviewed the video and it went really well. For those that viewed the trance last night, a lot of people were asking the question, who was the man with the white beard on my chest? That was my spirit guide Lee. I'm very happy to say that there were lots of good questions asked in that trance. Good morning Jeanette. Thank you May. And there's lots of good questions asked last night of my spirit guides, and my spirit guides answer them, which is lovely. I would also like to say that there's a few more people joining our group, so I'd like to welcome them to our group. What my group is about is basically just to let people know what I'm doing. Okay, demonstrations. Good morning Sandra. I've been meaning to message you, Sandra Mitchell Aferis, because I would like to do a Zoom with you sometime, if that's okay with you, lovely Sandra Mitchell Aferis. I came and done one for you for charity, and I would like us to do one. So if you'd like to work with me, Sandra, just let me know. Yeah, so there's a few more people joining the group. I would just like to welcome them. The reason I started this group was just to let people know what I'm doing with demonstrations and all the rest of it. But the main point of the group is to promote spiritual philosophy, which I do try to put a fair amount of teaching on. Right, the lovely Christine has asked a question. How did you know you were ready for platform work? I keep dreaming of giving out philosophy off the platform. Well, perhaps that's what you guys want you to do, Christina. They want you to go and give an address. If I'm ever demonstrating up near you, I don't know where you live, but anyway, if I'm up your end of the neck of the woods, I will invite you to come and do the platform with me, and you can do the address. Right, Sandra, that's lovely. I will message you and we'll work out a convenient date for us. It will just be a Zoom demonstration where we can just share our gift and our gifts and our love for spirit and share it with as many people as possible. Okay? Now that'd be lovely. I'd like to work with you anyway. I just feel drawn to work with you. But anyway, let's get back to Christina. If I'm ever up your neck of the woods, I will invite you to come and do the address, and I will do the messages. Okay? But how did I know that I was ready for platform work? When I started out, it was like a rite of passage. You had to, the medium that ran the circle had to say, right, you're ready now for platform. If I'm ever near Ironbridge, I will invite you. Like I said, back in the day, when I was sitting for spiritual development, the medium had to tell you that you were ready for platform work. But the circle I was in, I sat in 3 circles altogether, but the last circle I sat in finished in 1980. There you go, I feel old now. All right. And a couple of years passed, but in the sort of like, for a good few months before I did, if I'm invited, I'll come to Staffordshire, Jenny Green. All right, it's just a matter of who can pay my petrol. If they can pay my petrol, I will come. All right, okay. But anyway, that's not answering the question. Right, so Christina, I didn't do a lot for 2 years, but for a few months, my guides kept saying to me, we want you to work on platform. We want you to work on platform. I'll answer your question in a minute, James, okay? What I want to say is, Christina, my guides for a few months were pestering me to do platform work. And it got, you know, on Ghost, where it's sort of like Henry the 8th I am, Henry the 8th I am, it got like that. So in the end, I said, right, I'll give it a go. And if I make myself look stupid, it's your fault. So I spoke to the people at Manor Park Christian Spiritualist Church, which has now become South Spiritualist Church. And they let me do a platform January the 5th, 1983. And I wrote round to churches and got cancellation work. And from that cancellation work, I was getting rebooked, and other churches were inviting me. That was in the good old days before you had to write to churches or phone them. All right, we didn't have Facebook or email or anything like that. But I have fond memories of those days and all the lovely people I met and all the lovely churches that give me an opportunity to share spirit with them. Okay, I hope that answers your question. Right, James Devaney, let's read your question. Hi Stephen, I really enjoyed last night. Can I ask, how do you overcome something within that holds you back? I don't know if it's fear, but it's like a small thread that holds me back. What are you talking about, trance, James? Because if it's trance, it takes time. I mean, you know, to develop trance. I mean, I'm still developing it now, and I've been doing it on and off for years. But are you watching me in Portugal? That's amazing. But anyway, yeah, let's get back to James. If it's trance you're developing, it takes time. And what people really, really struggle with is the letting go of control. The way I explain it, James, is that you are a submissive and the spirit communicator is the dominant. So you have to let your consciousness step to one side so that the spirit communicator can say or do whatever they need to do through you. Whereas when I started in development, the first circle I sat in, it's all in the book, by the way, but the first circle I sat in, I was just taken in trance by my Zulu warrior guide, and I didn't have a choice. I was just shoved out of the way, okay? But what I want to say to you, James, is you've got to be prepared to give up control and allow yourself, allow spirit to have control of your functions, have control of you, have control over your voice box. Okay, it's to me, it's an act of love that we have with spirit. We, you know, whatever we do, whether it's platform trance or whatever we do, it's an act of love to spirit to allow them to use us. But we have to Jenny, because you're feeling spirit, that is the connection. You have to be able to interpret the emotion of what they're giving off. Okay, I rarely see spirit. I can tell how tall they were, what they were like in life, what they're showing me, and anything through emotion. And yes, Chris, it's definitely trust. You have to trust them. I hope that answers your question, James Devaney. Okay, if you want to add further to it, please do. Okay, I just want to answer Kay Buchan's answer. Yes, spirit are working with me differently now, Kay, because well, things have changed. People have more expectation of mediums, whereas when I started out, it's more spiritual. You could talk about guides and angels. There wasn't the big push on evidential mediumship. So even though I think angels and guides are just as evidential as a loved one, I think now that everything's gone online, people's expectation. It's lovely. Don't get me wrong. I love to give messages from a loved one, but there's more expectation to give messages from loved ones and leave out the guidance from angels and guides. Okay, but angels and guides play a very powerful part. It's like last night's trance. A lot of people were asking how they connect with their guides, which is very refreshing. Okay. Yeah, my work has changed. It changes over the years anyway, but yeah, with the changing guides and things like that. Okay. But the reason I started my group was just to bring more spiritual teaching in, because it's very lacking these days. But that's just in a summary, Kay. And I'm visiting Portugal on a cruise. No, we're not visiting Portugal on a cruise, because they've well, I think we are. Okay, that's another story. What did the lovely Jenny Green say? Does that answer your question, Kay? The Jenny Green says, right, what I want to say to you is, Jenny, that spirit communicating emotion. And you've got to attune yourself to that energy, that feeling, that vibration of that feeling, of that emotion, to be able to interpret what they say, what they're saying to you. Okay, I've turned the camera down round now. Okay, so I've got to try and get it back. All right, let's get right up to it. Right, okay. You know how to trust spirit by the way they speak to you. I'm sorry, but you can see my my wife's right there. I'm back. Sorry about that. You can see my ugly mug now. But yeah, build up your trust. What I would say to you is, James, build up a relationship with your guides. Yeah, it's a lifelong friendship, mate. So build up a good relationship with you guys. Get to know them. Let them get to know you. All right, they're probably trying little things with you anyway, but you have to give up control to them. Okay. The name of my book is called Messenger, Jenny Green, and it's available on Amazon UK. All right. Unfortunately, no bookshops stock it. All right, but yeah, you can buy it online on Amazon UK. It's entitled Messenger. It's in Kindle format and it's in paper book. But in answer to your question, spirit communicating emotion and in feeling. So you've got to attune to that feeling, that emotion, that vibration, to be able to interpret what they're telling you. Okay. Spirit also uses the imagination to place images in your mind. Thank you, Michaela. Jenny, the lovely Michaela's just put a link to it there if you want to click on it. If you'd buy it, that'd be lovely. Thank you. But yeah, this is what they should be teaching in circles, how to attune to vibration, how to attune to energy. Okay, hello Janet, lovely to hear from you. The next book is 62, 63 pages long. I've got a bit more writing to do yet, Christina. When it's ready, I'll let everybody know. Okay. I wrote a poem yesterday that my spirit guides inspired me with. I posted it on Facebook today, and That's going to be in the book as well. The poem I wrote called Arise, that was inspired by Spirit. Jenny, does that answer your question? Because what I learned last night, looking back at the video of the trances, is that people expect Spirit to communicate with them in certain ways. Spirit will communicate with you that they find easiest for you. Okay? But also, you must accept that they're communicating with you in accordance with their level of understanding. So don't have any expectations. If one medium turns around and says, I'll get spirit communication this way or that way, it doesn't mean you're going to get it like that. You're a totally different energy to them, a totally different personality. Keep writing that poetry. Perhaps you should produce a book, Michaela. I'm going to have a quick slurp. All right. And thank you for your questions. Keep them coming. All right. I didn't just come on here to plug my book today. It was to answer your questions. And, you know, as I said, there's a real lack of spiritual knowledge out there. It's all about giving messages these days. So I come on to sort of like share some of my knowledge. Okay. Some of my poetry comes from me. A lot of it comes from Spirit. That's right, we should have no expectations. We should have a union of love with Spirit. Okay? The way I've heard some mediums talk to somebody and what they expect from me, from Spirit, they expect Spirit to make them look good and all the rest of it. But it's a real friendship, it's a real relationship of love. Thank you, Janet. Respect. It's all right. There is a Spirit teaching that all knowledge should be shared, so that's what I try and do. I try and share my own knowledge that I've built up over the years from what Spirit have taught me, and anything new that Spirit are teaching me. As well as doing the messages and the healing and the trances and everything like that. Okay. I just want people to know that spiritualism is about a lot more than giving or receiving messages. It is a way of life. It's a way of universal life. All right. And what I would suggest anybody does is by the teachings of Silver Birch. Because when I first started out, you know, his teachings were a great guide. I started out in Christian Spiritualist. Manor Park Christian Spiritualist Church was a Christian Spiritualist church, and the guide of the Christian Spiritualist church was known as Zodiac. So if you go into a Christian Spiritualist church, you'll see on their hymn books, you'll see a cross, but you'll see a big Z at the bottom, and that big Z stands for Zodiac. All right, so you can read, you know, the teachings of Silver Birch, the teachings of White Eagle, the teachings of Ramadan, and the teachings of Zodiac. To help you along the way, because those guides answer many questions, you know, about reincarnation, how things work, why some people suffer and some people don't, lots of different things. Okay, but it's all related to your spiritual journey. My guide last night described us as travellers. Hello, Kerry. Lovely, all the way from America. We've got a lady from Portugal. We've got a lady from America here. Wish I'd gone down to Tottenham when you were demonstrating, Kerry. Kerry, that would have been lovely to have met you. But good morning, Jan. But what I want to say is, my guide last night when he was speaking to the people in trance is that we are travellers. We are here to touch the earth, to learn, to develop and to grow. Oh, that's lovely, James. A big hello from Hampshire and hello to you in Donegal Island. That's brilliant. You're lucky, Gordon Higginson. Yeah. I'll tell you what, once back, well, my son, he's 31 years old now nearly, and, no, he's 32 nearly, what am I on about? And he was a baby, and my wife at the time, my ex-wife, she was giving a talk at the Harry Edwards Healing Sanctuary down in Shear, and we had the pleasure of having lunch with Ursula Roberts, who was Ramadan guide. Yeah, let me know when you're in England, and if you're doing a demonstration, I'll pop in and say hi, Kerry. That'd be lovely. All right? I've served hot on a lovely church. Okay? But yeah, my guide was describing us as travellers, that we're here to develop and to grow, but we have a lot to offer, to give on the earth plane, and that is all part of our spiritual development. True spiritual development takes place within. It's not just about picking up messages and giving off messages. That's a tiny part of it. We've got to think about our spiritual development, our universal development, our eternal development, our soul development, whichever way you want to put it. Okay? Know that you've come to this earth to develop and to grow and to contribute in some way to the upliftment of the earth plane. Okay? Right, I think hopefully I haven't run out of things to say. Will somebody else say anything, because I get boring listening to myself. I'm going to have a quick slurp. Oh, next week, we're doing trance healing at Bognor. Yeah, I agree with Gordon, and that's something I've always been taught and always believed. The spirit guide Lee that showed himself on my chest last night, James, he come through in our circle in 79, 80. At the time, he was working through the medium's husband, Ian, and he come through and he said, basically, your message, your proof of survival, your first message that proves survival after death, is all you need. After that is the journey of study, learning and development. And I agree with that 100%. It's not just about sitting there constantly having more evidence. You know, we should be looking into how things work, life in spirit, life on earth, and how the two interact. Good morning, Mark. Hello, Samantha. You know, about the natural law. I understand trance very simply. First stages of trance are transfiguration, and that's where spirit put an ectoplasmic screen over the medium's face, and they imprint their likeness on that face, on that ectoplasmic screen. Yeah, that's an expectation, Michaela. I'm your president of the church that wanted to see, president of the church, believe it or not, wanted to see angels over the M3 before he would believe. Okay, hello, Gracie. But anyway, yeah, what was I on about? I've forgotten what I was on about. Yeah, thanks, James, for reminding me. But we should be looking into the natural law, because the natural law applies to us as much as it does spirit and on this earth. In the natural law, we talk of karma, young reincarnation and stuff like that, you know. There is so much for us to learn. Hi, Gracie. Lovely to see you. That's his choice. A lot of people knock psychic energy, but I don't. But it's the energy that allows communication to take place. So that's why I don't knock psychic energy. And any medium who's honest will tell you there's psychic energy in their work. As much as they may say, I'm bringing forward your loved ones, you know, or a spirit guide, you know, a discarnate, you know, a spirit communicator from spirit, whether it's your loved ones or a spirit guide or an angel, that, you know, psychic energy does allow all that to take place. Okay, so never knock psychic energy. All right. Yeah, I mean, Janice, many are called but few are chosen. I believe it's a parable in the Bible, isn't it? Jesus' parable. But we are all called to serve spirit. I think we're all being called to stand within our truth, Janet. I think we've all got to go out there and say, this is what we do. And we are servants of the spirit, and we are allowing us, you know, and spirit are coming forward, giving the earth great teachings that they really, really need right now. Especially as we've got wars going on all over the place and an invasion that we're all aware of. Well, if you can look at the Virgin Mary as an archetypal figure, just like Archangel Michael, or any of the archangels, or Jesus, you know, the Virgin Mary is an archetypal figure. You could say an ascended master. A lot of people see her as an ascended master. I've given Virgin Marys to people who are not Catholic. I've given the Sacred Heart to people. I've given the Sacred Heart to people who are not Catholic. But it depends on the meaning of it, the vibration and the energy that it comes with, that gives you the answer to why you're being shown that. You can say that the Virgin Mary, or Mother Mary, or whatever you want to call her, is about loving, about nurturing, about mothering, about care, about unity. Okay, all right. There's a reason why there's a reason spirit don't waste any energy. You know what I mean? Spirit will say exactly what they mean and what they feel you need to hear or know. Okay, there's a reason that's with you. Just because you're not Catholic, it doesn't mean a thing, Christina. All right? Spirit are choosing that way to guide you. Funnily enough, it's happened in my real life, my everyday life, my work life. I was helping a client get some stuff out of his property, and he's a Catholic, and he attends the Catholic church every Sunday. But before I went, you know, 2 or 3 weeks before I went round his old property with him to get some of his belongings, I was seeing the Sacred Heart, and there was a big picture of the Sacred Heart in one of the rooms, and he said we must get that because his mother gave it to him. So that, I think that was spirit communication telling me about that. You know what I mean? Telling me about that picture of the Sacred Heart. Hello, Nicola. Lovely to see you. Any more questions, please? Yes. Gordon Higginson's communicating. The great Harry Edwards is communicating. Ivy Northridge is communicating. You know, all the greats. I remember a guy at Slough Spiritualist Church, he gave me recordings of sort of like Gordon Higginson talking about meditation and all that. I think they got lost in the move here, but it's great to hear sort of like the pioneers of modern spiritualism talking. There's so much we can learn from the pioneers, because I think that they remind us to keep it real and down to earth and loving and kind, and to meet spirit halfway and not to have expectations of them. I really hope that that makes sense to people. I bet, Janet, Okay. But we have to keep it real. I mean, I call the modern day spiritual industry, as it's called, I call it spiritual bazaar, where we're all selling our wares, like in a big bazaar. That's just my take on it. But remember back in the day, the Gordon Higginsons of this world, the Harry Edwards, the Ivy Norpages, the Ursula Roberts, they didn't have Facebook, they didn't have email, they didn't have laptops. But Harry Edwards filled up the Albert Hall for his birthday demonstration of healing. That's right, we did. And Winifred Moyes, it is a calling. This is where we've lost our way, Jenny, is because it's about service to others. It's not about having lights round our names and earning loads of money, all right? It's about service to others. And the lovely Mike Williamson down at Bognor Regis, he said something very important to me. Very, very important to me, which I agreed with. The moment Spirit are going to give you enough money to provide you, that you can pay your rent or your mortgage or, and feed your families, that's when we all work full time. Okay? And I think that's an important point. I just think, if you're meant to, you're meant to work full time for Spirit. Okay? I charge for readings, I charge for spiritual guidance. I run a meditation group that I don't charge for. But I'll never ever charge for healing because I can't take money off people that are sick. Okay? But basically, my take on this argument, you shouldn't charge for it, is basically, if you book me for a private reading or a spiritual guidance or a trance or anything like that, you're paying for my time. Okay? That's lovely, James. It must be quite you're getting a lot of respect from Spirit in that circle, because the teaching must be really good for those people to turn up. That's why I wrote the book, funnily enough, so hoping that lots of people would buy it so I could spend more time working with Spirit. It's like an exchange of energy, you know what I mean? But now I work full time and I do this in my spare time. Please respect any mediums, because a lot of us do work full time, and we do this. That's right, Janet, that's right, we're the channels for all of it, but but healing is the higher vibration, it's a higher energy, and I don't think you can put a price on it, But with everything else that I do, you're just paying for my time, because I could be doing paid work at work, couldn't I? I remember one place, it was just for a Zoom, I weren't getting paid for it, but they cancelled me sort of like an hour before. But I'd given up a day's work, which was 100 quid to do it. So, just have a little bit of respect for us mediums that do this, because like last night I was doing a trance. Tonight I'm doing a demonstration of mediumship at Winchester. It takes a lot of time out of your personal life. We do it freely, we do it with love. So please just have that little bit of respect for what we do, and more importantly, have a little bit of respect for Spirit, because they work really hard to get their messages through, or their energies through. You know what I mean? And this is why mediums like me and Janet and the lovely James Devaney and everybody else that does this, we should be talking about Spirit, how it all works, what it takes what's involved with spirit communication and everything like that. I do these Facebook lives, you know, giving readings, and all you get is thousands of comments saying anything for me, which is a pure waste of energy and time, because the medium can only go to who they're drawn to and speak to who they're drawn to. You know, all this, anything for me is just clogging up the thread, and the person getting the message can't answer. You know what I mean? Okay? I just think we, as a whole, not only mediums and healers, but people in general, should have a lot more respect for spirit and what they do and how they get their messages over to us. And we should do our best to develop it. Hello, Geraldine. Hello, Susan Davison. Any questions, please? I'm getting on my soapbox here and having a bit of a rant here, aren't I? I'll try and get off my soapbox. But please remember, folks, that you're on a pathway of development. Yeah, my guide was just saying that last night in the trance, Kerry. We get what we need, not what we want. Okay? I'm glad you're sitting for spiritual development, Susan. But what I think, I'm very pleased you are. But what... I'm not giving messages, Nicola. I'm just chatting. Yeah, I mean, struggle is all part of it. All right? Like me and Janet were saying, no expectations. Okay? I first went into trance, Janet, in 1979. Like I said, I was taken in trance by my Zulu guide. That led to a couple of years of trance healing down at Slough Spiritualist Church. Okay. All right. And then I went onto the platform. And then a few years ago, I used to do trance occasionally for people. And a few years ago, a lovely medium said to me, you should be doing trance back again. So I just started doing it again on and off thing at home, and then COVID hit, so it all went online. So to try and bring people something different, I was doing trances online, as we did last night. And I've done a couple of church demonstrations as well, which is brilliant. And yeah, it's been on and off over the years, Janet, because I think trance is a great tool for bringing spirit teaching forward, and you know, people could speak directly to spirit guides. Yeah, it's just something that's always been there, Janet. I don't believe in open circles because I think they're dangerous. The reason I think open circles are dangerous because the energy change with the people. Yeah. Was I great? I didn't think I was that good that night, Kerry, but thank you. That's brilliant. I was kicking myself after that one. I just thought, you know, we weren't flowing as we normally do. That happens. Okay, but thank you, Kerry. But yeah, I think trance is great for, you know, people could speak directly to spirit guides and can ask questions. The final circle I sat in was with Berenice Watts, and she's a trance medium. And I'm going to answer your question in a minute, Susan, all right? So we developed trance amongst other things, as well as general spiritual development. Okay, and, you know, guys would come through and we could question them. And me and the others, we learned so much. Right, open circles are very dangerous, I think, because you get the energies coming and going with different people coming and going. Okay, and all people want to do there is sit down and pick up and give off. They're not really learning anything. Okay, remember, it's spiritual development. It's developing your inner self so that you vibrate at a higher level. You become more aware of spirit. Okay, and in turn, because you're vibrating in a more loving, higher level, spirit can communicate with you more and teach you more. All right. Right, I'm sorry, I'm losing my way. Right, Susan, you're the master of your own self. If they're bringing it to you too quickly, just ask them to slow them down. But like I said, ask them to slow it down. But remember, spirit will not only communicate to you with images, there'll be energy with that image. So you must attune to that vibration of that energy to understand the message. Spirit communicate in energy, in emotion, in feeling. So you've got to attune your mind to that. Okay, to that vibration. You know your own emotions, and you've probably felt many emotions in your life. Well, basically, if you're getting a different emotion to what you're feeling that day, it must be coming from somewhere else. Does that make sense? Okay. All right. See, it's a lot of spirit. A lot of people expect sort of like granddad or mum and dad to pop up and tell them and speak to them in their ear rolls and everything like that. Spirit will communicate in voice, in your mind. We all communicate, we all think in our own voice, don't we? So if there's a different voice in your head, it's coming from somewhere else, isn't it? Those are the two different rules of thumb. All right? But what I want to say is Rome weren't built in a day. You know, it's a lifetime development. It's not just while you're sitting in circle. It's a lifetime of development. And callers, I'm seeing the odd orb about here as well. But it's a lifetime development. I've been demonstrating on platform 39 years, and I'm still learning how to do it. So never ever think it stops. Okay, your spiritual development will carry on for a lifetime and beyond. All right? But speak to your guides. Have a relationship with your guides. You know, say you're giving it to me too fast. Slow it down a little bit so I can understand it. Attune to that vibration. Attune to that energy. Become more sensitive. And your teacher should be teaching you that. I'm going to tell you a little story. Yeah, I don't flower things up, do I, Cheryl? All right. But what I'm going to tell you a little story, Cheryl, and everybody else, about the open circle I sat in. Like I said, I didn't do a lot for 2 years. And then my guides kept going on at me about working on platform. So at South Spiritualist Church, they had an open circle. So I thought I would go back there to sit for a while. I would sit there for a while to just sort of like strengthen my link with spirit and get my attunement. Now, in this open circle, there was a young lady who used to sit with me. We're going back to about 1982 now, so my memory might not be as it was. Okay, quick slurp. There's a lady that used to sit next to me in circle called Susan, and she used to bring through a lady in trance who was claiming to be Mary Queen of Scots. Okay, so me being me, I went down to Langley Library and I've done research on Mary Queen of Scots so I could ask questions. I'm not giving messages, Sarah Jane. I'm talking about spirit. Okay? Well, then re-energise yourself, Sarah Jane, rest. But anyway, where was I? This lady used to bring through in trance Mary Queen of Scots. It was quite a powerful energy, but it was sort of like a low energy. So I went down to Langley Library and I researched Mary Queen of Scots. So the next week I went along and I was armed with loads of questions about Mary Queen of Scots. Okay? I do spiritual guidance, but I do charge a fee for it. Okay, Sarah Jane. So if you want to book one, please do. Anyway, sure enough, Mary Queen of Scots come through. So, but it was if she knew that I had questions, because she turned her head to me and her eyes were black. Okay, and I was just about to say something, and all of a sudden, this spirit turned Sue's head, and people started becoming ill and sick and stuff like that. So then I could feel my Zulu guide taking control of me. This is before I was taught how to control him. All right, and he come through me, and what he'd done basically was he stood that spirit claiming to be Mary Queen of Scots back, and he cut the lines of energy going to these people that were being ill. One bloke actually vomited and moved this back, and moved his spirit back. Then my Zulu guide Zangu stepped back, and my Oriental guide Sungsai Sin stepped forward and gave a talk on spiritual protection. Okay, and that's why I feel open circles are dangerous from experience. You've got to know who you're communicating with. That should be taught in spiritual development as well. You can't just accept any Tom, Dick and Harry. Your guide should be looking after you, protecting you. They should be protecting the circle. Does this make sense, people? All right, and what does anybody think of that story? The best circles you can sit in are home circles, all right? Never mind all this online stuff, because there's only a certain amount you can teach online. It's all about energy. So with yeah, so you've got to have protection in the circle, haven't you, Janet? Your guide should be looking after you. They should be looking after the circle, but you should physically form protection around that circle. So those lower energies can come up to the perimeter of that protection, get the light from the circle to help them, but they can't get in it and run amok. Yeah? But there's only so much you can teach online. It's all about energies. Me, when I teach, I like to know what's going on with everybody in that circle and get to know that the energies around them, and if they're not good, stand them energies back and teach that person how to stand them energies back. All right? If somebody's the other in Canada, say, like I've got one student in Canada, we just do meditation. If she's having problems, I can't get to her, can I? Okay? Even though I've got all the protection going. You know? You're welcome, Gillian. What happened, Susan? Pray, tell me more. Actually, the lovely May O'Connor's coming here in April to very good learning. Sometimes we've got to put our hand in the fire to learn, James. Would you agree? You need to have spiritual protection around you, Jenny. All right? He would. He's very powerful. I've experienced Archangel Michael. What I want to say to you, it's a simple protection meditation that I give to anybody that learns with me, because I teach people how to close before I teach them how to open. All right, because spiritual protection is very, very important to me from my own experience. Okay, this scar here and this dental plan happened years ago. All right, I won't go into the ins and outs of it, but anyway, what I tell any new student to do is to imagine that they're like standing in a hotel corridor, yeah, with doors each side. and that they have a golden key in their left or right hand, depending on which hand they mainly use. Okay, and I ask them to walk to the last door on the left-hand side. I ask them to unlock the door and open it. And in that room, there's bare floorboards, and the walls are white, and to their left, there's a big window. I ask them to decorate that room however they want. You know, they can put whatever they want in it. And then I ask them to walk in and lock the door behind them. That way they're locked in. That's mental protection. That's basic mental protection. Okay, and they can sit there, and when they want to open, they can unlock the door, let themselves out, lock the door so nobody else can get in, and then walk down into a blue light. "70 people's way too many, Susan. I would go to a maximum of 7 or 8 people. Because there's only so much you can teach, you know. Okay, that is terrible. It's not about money. I teach for nothing as well. You know what I mean? There's very few things I charge for. That's brilliant, Janet. And like James Devaney mentioned, it's about good intention. It's about having the right attention, not about filling your pockets. I said to a young lady the other day that it's lovely to see young people, young women, young men getting interested in developing spiritually, because, you know, blimey, that's terrible. It's dangerous to consume alcohol before you work, after you work, and during. Yeah, a lot of people, it's like a Saturday night out at the cinema, isn't it? They got, you know, you see it on Zoom, they got their wine, they got their popcorn and their donuts. I remember once I was doing the opening prayer, and for some reason I opened my eye and there's this woman stuffing a blooming jam donut in her gob. Where's the respect? The opening prayer is to call spirit in, you know? Right? But what I was saying, I've said to a couple of people this week, it's lovely to see younger people, younger than myself, men and women, taking an interest in developing spiritually, because it's the likes of me and Janet that are passing it on to you guys. Okay? So please embrace it for all you can, young people. Learn as much as you can, because the more you learn, the more you can do. And the more you progress. That's disgusting. I remember once I'd done a couple of meditations, and but I paid for the Zoom. It cost me £14.39 a month, £14.49 a month. Hiya, Sue. Congratulations on your Reiki Master thingy. I'm not Reiki's greatest fan, but congratulations anyway. Yeah, so I put an advert out. I paid for the Zoom. It cost me £14.49 a month. So I thought to cover the cost of that Zoom for that month, I'd charge people £3. Nobody was interested. Yeah, you're all flocked to an open circle, all crammed in there, drinking your wine and eating your chips, and you know, and pay one medium a load of money and get nothing from it, and just be working a real low rate. It just amazes me sometimes, people. Yeah. Yeah, if you open, you have to close. Yeah, I would question the development of a medium as well, Jenny. Okay, and the awareness of the medium, what they called in. Okay, what you need to do is sage your house from top to bottom, especially the doors and the windows. I want you to ask the earth angels, to cleanse your house of any negative energy. Can you do that, Jenny? Or if you don't know how to do it, get somebody local to do it for you. I have to close down every night. I have to make sure that protection's every morning. Put it this way, alcohol is a depressant, so if you're drinking alcohol, you're lowering your mind state, and spirit don't really need that. Yeah, white sage, Gracie Trapani's right. Get white sage, light it, and once it's going, put it all around your doors and your windows, but the intention has to be true, it has to be sincere. Ask from your heart for earth angels to cleanse any negativity from your home, but start from the front door and the back door, to all the windows, all the doors, all the rooms, okay? Whereabouts are you, Jenny? Whereabouts in the country do you live? Oh, you're too far from me, Jenny, but get somebody local that's reputable to come and smudge your place or try it yourself. You can always message me if you have any problems, okay? There are mediums running around and saying that spirit can't harm you. They're talking a lot of rubbish, all right? Perhaps because they've never experienced anything like that, or they're just naturally well protected. But from my own experience and many others, the lower levels of spirit can get in and cause all kinds of problems. So you have to have spiritual protection. If you're working with spirit, you have to learn how to close and you have to learn how to open to them. You have to know who you're communicating with and that you're communicating with the right level of spirit. Okay? All this should be taught in circle. Oof. Any more questions, please? And I agree with read what Janet's saying, Jenny. Anything we do with spirit must be from the heart and true and sincere. Spirit can only work through an open, loving, kind, compassionate heart. I was saying to somebody yesterday, actually, never mind about, seeing somebody's granddad in your mind's eye or whatever. Spirit will work through what you need to work with spirit in any way that is chosen for you to work with spirit. You need a kind of compassionate heart. Okay? Not give me £10 a week and I'll teach you how to communicate with spirit. Get that kindness and compassion in your heart. All right? Hi Tracy, love to see you. Thank you for that. Thank you for adding that, Jenny. That's wonderful. Thank you. Any more questions, please? Yeah, we're going to do it again on the 19th. I intend to do it once a month. It's about having time, Janice. Okay, because I work full time. I've got demonstrations to do, and I come on and I do my lives and stuff like that. I do demonstrations for other churches and centres. I'm doing them in person as well. And I have to have a married life. I have to spend time with my beautiful wife, And I need to rest and relax as well. But I plan to do it once a month, Janice. You're welcome, James. Please come along at another time, mate. And thank you for your contribution. If I could afford to sort of like do this all day long, every day, I would. Well, not every day, because my wife would kill me. But I have to work full time. And I'm 61 years old now. I can't do what I used to do when I was 30. You know, I used to work, you know, 5-6 days a week and do 3 services a week back in the day. But I'm just, physically, I can't do that anymore. Okay, I'll get very tired. So like next week, doing trance healing at Bognor. Also doing a trance in the evening, FB Live for Centre of the Open Heart. I believe I've got yeah, I'm still working for the homeless. I'm now a full-time homeless recovery worker. This was saying something I was saying to the lovely Christine the other day. I was just saying I believe we should walk our talk. It's lovely to speak to you, Kerry. Long time. Okay, please pop up whenever you like. You're always welcome. When you know, to share your views and all the rest of it. And when you come back to the UK, let me know, and I'll pop along to Tottenham and watch you demonstrate. That'd be an honour. Yeah, I was saying to the lovely Christine yesterday, I've done a spiritual guidance for her. I was saying that I believe that we should walk our talk. You know, those of us that serve spirit. Not only when we're up on the platform or whatever we're doing, but in our everyday lives. You know, whether it's being a homeless recovery worker, helping an old lady cross the road, being kind and compassionate in our everyday lives. That's where we truly develop. Yeah, likewise, Kerry. Drop me a line when you're coming over, and I'll make sure I have a shower and put my best bib and tucker on, and I'll come and see you. All right? Or if I ever come to America, I'll come and say hi to you. All right? Remember, the homeless are human beings. All right, they have their problems, but you know, I wouldn't like to be sleeping outside in the winter. Whereabouts in America are you, Kerry? Because me and the wife were talking about visiting New York the other week. Don't tell me you're the other side of America, but you know. And what people don't realise, it's a real blessing to work with spirit, to bring upliftment. You know, it's about service to others. We serve spirit to uplift others, but if they're full of grief. Or Boston. Okay, if me and the wife go on holiday in New York, I've got a friend that visits Boston, actually, because I'm a great history buff. You know, I like to go to the places where we used to read at school, like I've been to the pyramids and stuff like that. But we used to be taught about the Boston Tea Party at school. So Boston is somewhere where I thought of visiting. I'll mention it to the wife. So if we do land up in Boston and you're around, you know, we'll meet up and have dinner, me, you and the wife and whoever you want to bring with you. Yeah, we'll meet up and have dinner. That'd be lovely. All right. Because there's probably somewhere in Boston where it shows you where the Boston Tea Party took place, didn't it? Yeah. That's where we landed, isn't it? Because we sailed from Plymouth. But, yeah, when the first settlers from the UK, or England as it was known in. Brilliant. Thank you. I'm humbled and honoured, Cheryl. I can say to my guides that our work is done, just from that one comment you just made, Cheryl. All right, that we've explained stuff. All right. I feel very blessed for the teaching that I had. I mean, the first 2 circles, love and light to you. What, our Plymouth or your Plymouth? I used to go down there, actually. I demonstrated trance in Plymouth, actually. I've demonstrated trance in our Plymouth. What was I going to say? Yeah, I've forgotten what I was going to say now. That's my age. But it's a real blessing to work with spirit. When you can see somebody's pain uplifting. That's why my wife comes with me. She's not interested in sitting for developing spirit. Hiya, lovely Denise. Take care, Jan. But my wife's a people watcher, so when she comes along to the service and they're getting a message from a loved one or an angel or a spirit guide, sometimes she can see the strain going out of their faces, you know, or then become more comfortable within themselves. So that's why my wife comes. And she's my chief adjudicator. She tells me whether I was working well or not, communicating with spirit well. But the last teaching of spirit I will give to you, this has just popped into my mind, is be selfless in service. And what that means is, it's not about, you know, getting fame and money and everything like that. It's about removing yourself from the equation. Okay, all your aches, pains, your worries, your woes, you put all that to one side. You leave it outside the door, okay, so that you can become as much of a clear vessel for spirit. It's what we used to call back in the day being a clear vessel for spirit. And so that spirit can connect with you clearly. Right, I'm going to tell the wife we've got a visit. She'll probably punch me in the head, Kerry, but I'll tell her it's all your fault, all right? I'm going to say when we have an American holiday, we'll go to Boston. We can always fly to New York, can't we? Yeah, so we can see the sights there. But yeah, what we'll do is we'll come to Boston. I'll let you know when, because we're going on a cruise this year. So it might be next year or the year after. I'd like to go to Salt Lake City to meet the lovely Irene, because I've done a talk for their Unity spiritual community. Yeah, there's a few people I'd like to meet in America, actually. Kathy in Texas, and yeah. But that's the beauty of Zoom, isn't it? We meet people from all over the world. But yeah, it may well be next year. And we'll come over and we'll have dinner with you in Boston. And we can go to New York and better get saving, don't I? Okay. Yeah, okay. Well, it's up to you. You're the local. You can pick a nice restaurant or a diner where we can meet up and we can have some food together. Hiya, Claire. We're just about to round it up. Done a lot of teaching this morning. Oh, that'd be brilliant. That'll save us catching a plane. All right. Yeah, what we'll do is we'll book an overnight hotel in Boston. Sorry, folks, I'm sorting out my holidays. We'll book an overnight hotel in Boston, and then we'll go to New York the next day. Oh, the lovely Heidi Waters is joining us. All right, somebody's just messaged me, and I can't see who it is. Right, but for spiritual development purposes, apart from the spiritual protection, which is deadly important, okay, hi, I want you to remove the self from the equation. That's your aches and pains, your worries, your woes. All right, remove it, leave it all outside the front door so you can be a clear channel for spirit. The spirit will be able to communicate with you a lot easier. And with that, I'll say God bless you all. Lovely to meet you all. Okay? And Kerry, if you want to do a Zoom with me and do some messages, you're more than welcome to. Just let me know if you'd like that. Because I've got to start, you know, because people get fed up with my face, so I like to have other people doing it as well. Okay? Anyway, God bless you all. And thank you for the lovely conversation we've had today. All right? And it's been a real pleasure to speak with you all. God bless you all. Bye.